Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast in this reality. The show designed to challenge everything we've been taught. If you've ever felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Time to open your mind and dive in. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am welcome to, very excited, the show. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance. I'm speaking today with two people who are fascinating to me. I am always on the hunt for something spicy. I'm always on the hunt for something delicious, and I am a hot sauce connoisseur. There are currently probably 40 bottles of hot sauce in my house. Multiple different spices, flavors, origins, from pineapple to absolute death. All of them have their place. All of them are delicious to their own right. Some of them not so much, but you have to try them all. I was in Ottawa recently, and I was gifted a 3-pack of samples, and it blew my mind to the point where I needed to reach out to the owners. I needed to get a hold of these people. I needed to talk to somebody about what the hell's going on here. And I did. And luckily enough, you're going to experience that now because I'm here with them. You can already see that in the title as you've clicked on it, but I've built the suspense up so much so to introduce Scott and Vicki from King's Hot Sauce. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. We're happy to be here.
It's a lot of fun. To be on these shows. Podcasts. I'm sure this is probably going to be your first of many. But yeah, I just happen to be somebody who has a broadcast mic, who has a bit of a following, and who has an absolute love for everything hot sauce. And you guys, like, holy shit! Like your sauce is so good. I took one taste and I'm like instantly knew it was top 5. I took a taste of your middle sauce, the spicier sauce, and I was like, wow, top 3. And I can't even compare. I mean, if in my own personal opinion, if I'm comparing, we've got you and geez, I don't like Dead Air, and I can't think of the name of the other one that I absolutely love for whatever reason. Off of Hot Ones.
Oh, is it The Bomb?
No, it's Secret Aardvark. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Secret Aardvark is magical, and you guys are right up there. So Secret Aardvark has held the top spot on my list for years, and you guys just swooped in, and you're on par with Secret Aardvark. Totally different flavor for anyone who is a hot sauce connoisseur. They don't taste the same, but that first taste reminds you of back when you were 12 years old and everything was good in the world and safe, and we were all happy and everybody was singing Kumbaya. That's what this hot sauce does to you. It's incredible. I like to paint a picture. So before we get into too much of the nitty gritty, my question to you is, how did this come to be? How did you guys decide one day, you know what, this hot sauce is good. I can make a better one. Let's see if we can sell it. Walk us through the whole thing, if you don't mind.
So it started when I was a kid, because the initial recipe, what we call the classic, that is the recipe my dad used to make when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my heat tolerance has developed over the years, but when I was a kid, I was like, holy crap, I couldn't, if I had clogged sinuses, like I had a cold, I would just take a little bit of my dad's hot sauce, clear me out right away. Now, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So anyway, so he got this recipe. He told me he got the recipe from a family member, and he's like, I got this recipe and it was crap, so I made it better. So, okay, sure.
Amazing.
And then cut to a few years ago. So my dad has since passed away, and my daughter, who is also in the videos, if you check out our Instagram, and I can get into that a little bit later.
All of the notes in your Instagram and where to get a hold of you guys will all be in the show notes for here for sure.
Oh, cool.
The websites, the links, all that stuff for our audience to buy your hot sauce, to try it. And again, I can't praise it enough, ladies and gentlemen.
So she loves hearing stories about her grandfather. right? And then one day, because I told her about this sauce, I don't know how many times she asked if we could make it. So I was like, sure, no problem. Yeah. And so we got everything we needed. We made a batch, and we had friends over, and they were like, where do you get this? Where did you get this sauce? And I was like, well, it's ours. Like,
Hmm.
okay, so how do I get my hands on some? And then it kind of spiraled from there. Friends and family were trying it, and they wanted it. And I was like, really? Okay. So we started making batches for friends and family, and the interest grew and grew. So we decided to, you know, have a kick at the can and try to make something out of it. And it is my dad's face too on the bottle. My brother had a friend of his draw that.
Nice.
So my dad is the logo.
Lives on
Like
forever that way.
well, exactly. And it's funny because I think about it when it's like, never did I think that I would be selling bottles and putting my dad's face in countless strangers' fridges. But
Take that, Dad. Mind
yeah,
you, I bet your dad was kind of the guy that would love to have had his face in countless strangers' fridges.
he I don't even know if he'd be able to wrap his mind around it because he would just be like so surreal by it. And it's so, and I've said to Vicky too before, like I hate obviously that he's not here because he was my dad, but at the same time, if he was here because he was retired, he'd be doing this all day. Whatever I needed, we need another batch. He would just get up and do it. Like he was just my dad worked tirelessly, and I
Right.
know he would have loved doing this. But so once we started and people liked the other recipe, the feedback was, "Oh, we want something hotter. We want something hotter," you know. So then we
People,
started
eh?
playing.
It's never enough, you
Yeah,
bastards.
yeah, right. So I played with the recipe. I made two test batches, gave them to our friends, and said, "Okay, tell me what you think. Which one do you like better?" Problem was, half of them liked one, and half of them liked the other.
Right.
I was like, "Well, I guess I have two recipes now."
Oh, yeah.
So three in the end, yeah. So that's what we did is we just so we okay, now we have the three, and now because I'm playing with it, we're meeting other hot sauce merchants as we participate in markets and in the community as well in Ottawa.
Right.
Um, I get other ideas and I have a whole bunch of them, but it's a lot of work to go, to test it, and so what I do now is because I am working on a fourth recipe. I'll make a batch, I'll bring it to work, and I'll give it to my employees
Nice.
and say, tell me what you think. And a lot of them really like they love, okay, free hot sauce. Are you kidding? So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's a great way to find out what they like and what they think and
Nice
if
little,
they
nice little
survive.
test market.
Yeah.
I I'm curious. I mean, that's the passion side, and that's beautiful. And yeah, your third hot sauce, which you began to allude to, was again, the people wanting more. And what I love about your third hot sauce, I would assume the third one was the even spicier
Yeah,
one.
the Sunshine Fury.
And what I like about that hot sauce is this is one of those hot sauces, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just loosen up a little. The ultra hot version of their hot sauce it's one of those hot sauces that is so good you've got the hiccups. It's so good that you're almost uncomfortable, but you can't stop eating it. You'll stick anything in there just to get it on there. It just blows me away. The human design. It's like, this is hot. I've got the hiccups. Everything in my body is like eject, eject. But it's so good. You cannot stop eating this hot sauce. It's phenomenal. So I'm excited to try the fourth one. We don't have to go too far into that if we're still under secrecy wraps, but that's gonna be exciting.
Oh, it's good. Actually, I brought with the fourth one, I brought to work to hand out, and I took one of the samples for myself because I was like, I know that I really just want to dip something in this. So I went and got chips, and
Yeah,
I was very excited to have it. And yeah, it should be out later this year. We just, there's a lot to go into it, right? Design the label, testing, all that fun stuff, and so
have
we
you
want to
guys
make sure.
on the business side of it now? Have you guys had issues with the FDA or with like because you're selling a food primarily, and the idea is obviously to get it into the stores and to get it mass. Shit, I don't even know if the idea is to get it mass produced because you lose something when it's mass produced. But I mean, for what it stands right now, I would say take that paycheck if you get the opportunity to get it mass produced. But as it stands right now, it's small batch. It's small batch and it's effing delicious.
You're right. It is small batch, and it's funny that you say that. To answer your first question, like with like food authorities, we have it. There's a lab that we use for food testing, right? And there's a process where you send it and they test it over the course of 2 years, but you have to make one batch and then send it to them. They take half the batch, put it in the fridge, take the other half, put it on a shelf, and then test it throughout various periods of the 2 year duration. So we make sure it's safe, and we get it tested and all that stuff just to make sure. Again, like we want to make sure it's above board. And I mean, yes, I consumed it a lot when I was a kid, so I knew it was safe. But it's better.
It's the hoops. It's the Canadian. Like we're talking. It's the Canadian company. We're talking Canadian stuff here, and everything that you've ever wanted to do in Canada, you have to jump through an insane amount of hoops. So, that you're still willing to put this out there after all these hoops that they throw your way. I mean, and that's my curiosity. It's got to be a lot for sure.
It is a lot of work. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work and money in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But it's funny because once that's done, once it's under your belt, you just make hot sauce and go to markets and talk to people.
Yeah. And then anybody
the
says
fact
anything,
that,
you get your papers.
if it's not mass produced and you only do like markets around town or whatnot, they have less legislation. They don't, want a certain type of regulation like stores would have.
Right.
So it's easier that way for now anyways. I don't know if we'll ever go into the big commercial stores where they want like inventory of 100 bottles at all times or whatnot. But yeah, we're definitely open to it, and we go as we go along, we just kind of figure it out, and yeah.
That's amazing. Cross that bridge when we get to it type of idea.
Pretty much.
But yeah, so I mean, if you think about it, if we've got the ability, and this is the business aspect of things, if you've got the ability to take this hot sauce, maximize what you can produce on the internet, like you just constantly taking orders in and shipping it out, because even fulfilling that stuff, I would assume you've got like there's probably not a company that's fulfilling this. Like it's probably you guys or somebody local.
It's all us in our basement.
Yeah. So whatever orders come through, it's like, oh, slap the label on it, mail it out.
Well, we do cook in a commercial kitchen. It's not just us.
Yeah. I know you're not stirring it with a stick down there in the old wash tub basin. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
We don't want to give the wrong impression to people.
Yeah. No. I think they figured that out too. Now, some people could have been like, wait a minute. They're making hot sauce on their bathtub. All right.
Yeah.
Like the episode of The Simpsons and Homer's making his own brew in the bathtub.
Was that the one where the sugar truck tipped over or something like that? Oh, I remember.
No, because that's when he had the bees. He got his own bees.
That's what it was. Yeah, the bees.
Yeah. No, this is when
they talking to somebody.
Prohibition.
Yeah, that's right. I was talking to somebody, and I can like quote The Simpsons verbatim up until about 1999, and then after that, I lost. I lost it.
Yeah, I'm about the same.
Yeah, I think it's our generation. It's like that show's still on the air. It is. Well, I stopped
100%, man.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic.
Can't go wrong.
So how do you find too, like with regards to the hot sauce producing and all sort of stuff, you have regular jobs, quote unquote, like you guys are still, doing your thing and your time management. I'm curious because again, if we look at just the business aspect of this, we'll talk about the fun stuff a little bit later, but like the business aspect of this is like, you guys have full-time jobs and then you got to produce this, and then you got to talk to all the powers that be, the legislators. And then when the orders come in, you got to ship them all out and all that sort of stuff. Like, how much extra time a day do you think right now you're at? And what's your predictions for your capacity? I mean, what I mean by this is a lot of people are listening to this right now going, I've got an idea for a hot sauce. I've got an idea for a food. I've got this, but I have no idea where to get started or how to do any of this stuff. You guys have already done this for the most part. So my curiosity again is what does a day look like for you guys on average day that has to do with either preparing or shipping hot sauces through your work schedule and all that sort of stuff?
Well, for the most part, I do most of like the operations, like the website, the shipping, the research on, well, we do, both of us do research, but like all the accounting stuff and whatnot. So that would say maybe a few nights a week I'll spend an hour or so on stuff like that, depending on what we need to do at the moment. We also then, take our Saturdays most of the time for cooking or going to markets. Last weekend, we were at the Beechwood Market, and 2 weeks from now, we're going to the log farm. So that's like our Saturday mornings, early afternoon. And then cooking, we go do batches maybe every 2, 3 months at the moment for like 12-hour day. And besides that, like you'll test recipes here and there when you have ideas, and that's like an evening a week, but not every week. It's kind of like whatever we need at the moment, whatever we are thinking about. Accounting stuff is more like once a month. I'll take a day. So I work also at a company where we have the 4-day work week. So I
Beautiful.
have that extra day every week to do business stuff or run errands for the family. We have 2 kids, so it's we run that too. But yeah, we kind of just put it in our schedule here and there, and sometimes I answer email over lunchtime, or it really depends on the demands and what we're working on at the moment.
Amazing. Amazing. And I thought of the fourth store. It's Exotica Tattoo out in Aylmer.
Ooh.
Yes. So yeah, these guys, and because you don't have a distribution deal right now, there's a lot of people that want to put your stuff in their stores just to give you the exposure and to draw in foot traffic for them. It's mutually beneficial.
Of course,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so we got some places lined up, and I've been talking you guys up around town for sure.
Appreciate it.
To give you guys a little bit more of a foothold. How long have you guys been doing it? When did your first bottle go for sale?
I guess so. Technically,
Unofficially, we sold our first bottles to my sister and her partner in like Thanksgiving 2023. So very new. And then, yeah, from there, we started like producing from home. And then around Christmas time, all the friends that knew we were making the hot sauce were like, I'm buying some as gifts, I'm buying some for myself. So we sold like, I think 120 bottles that first like Christmas period, November, December 2023. And then we're like, okay, let's make this legit and let's look into, incorporating and making an official business out of it.
Nice.
So we incorporated in April 2024. So it's been just over a year now. And then from there, from incorporation, then we found a commercial kitchen, we got insurance, we got all the equipment and items, like the bigger stuff, so we could produce more than just, a blender full.
Right.
And then we went and, yeah, equipped ourselves to be able to go to markets and expos. And our first expo was the Heating Up the Capital, September 2024. And actually, the idea came from the first hot sauce expo we went to in September 2023. So the same hot sauce expo, we're like, you know what? We're thinking people are saying, oh, you have to sell this, you have to sell this. And we're like, how do we actually do this?
Right.
And one of our friends told us about the hot sauce expo, and we had never heard about it. It was literally the Friday. My friend texted me. She's like, hey, I don't know if you know, but there's a hot sauce expo going on tomorrow. So we're like, let's go check it out. Let's talk to vendors. Let's see how they started and, see if we can actually do the same. So we went out that day and talked to a bunch of vendors. Some we are still friends with to this day. And then the following year in September, we were actually vendors at that hot sauce expo. So it took us a year to like get all the equipment, all the stuff put together, make enough batches and inventory for the expo. And then Christmas 2024 was our first like market experience officially. It went super well. And then, yeah, now we're on our first summer doing markets. We have 7 dates planned between May and October. Since we work full time, we didn't want to like go every weekend. We still wanted to enjoy our summer a little bit and
Yeah.
spend time with the kids and enjoy the weather. So, yeah, but so far we've done 2 summer markets and it's been really nice. The people are always surprised at how good it is, it seems, because like we always give them samples, like we make them taste either on a stick or a chip, and people are like, oh, this is really good. Like people are always like, hey, you want to try it? And they're like, oh, sure, why not? Free stuff, right? Like let's just try it, whatever. And then they taste and they're like, oh, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it is. So, and then they taste the three. We start them off with like the classic, and we say it's the milder one. That's how it started, and then we go up to the medium spice level. So scorching embers is our medium, and then we go up a notch if they're still willing to go up to our sunshine fury, which is our hotter one. It's not the hottest thing in the world. We don't want to sacrifice flavor for just burning your face off.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's delicious.
thank you.
Yeah. I love that. I love that whole system. And I remember getting actively mad at Christy for only getting a few samples. Because man, that shit was good. So I was sampling everything, and we even had we'd gotten pizza, and I said, "What are these?" I said, "What are these?" She says, "Oh yeah, those are hot sauces I got from my friend that for you to try." And we had the pizza, and I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go." So needless to say, the two initial hot sauces, like the regular one and the hot extra hot, did not last long. The third one was so good, and but it's also so hot that I was like, I'm gonna chill with this one for a minute. So for me to be like, this is noticeably hot. Like in other words, for somebody who's a hot sauce connoisseur, it wasn't gonna kill me, but I had to put effort in, and I really appreciate that. It's like hitting it on the head for somebody like me who just adores hot sauce. And again, I'm gonna say this, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a commercial. This is not a paid ad. I'm super excited. This hot sauce is so good. I had to have these fucking guys on the show. Like that's how good this damn hot sauce was. And it's like I've had good and tasty things in the past. I've never thought to myself, I need to share this with the world. This time I did. So my curiosity with it too is what do you guys see with it? What do you see with what you want to do? Are you having fun with it? Are you going to keep it local? Do you think that you can take over the world with this, or in your mind, what do are you looking to offset your jobs, or do you think this is a really nice thing? It's a really fun hobby. It's really nice to grassroots this thing and to watch it grow and take on its own thing. What's your take on that?
I think my I can say our approach is kind of like we're open to anything. We've been very careful because of our schedules and our kids and everything like that. And plus, we're funding it all ourselves too,
Yeah.
right? What is it they say is that you got to spend money to make money.
Oh yeah.
Is we don't want to grow. We didn't want to grow like right out of the gate too fast because we didn't have the operation figured out yet.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't, how do I make 100 bottles or 300 bottles in a day?
Yeah.
Now we have that answer. My initial plan at the moment, our initial plan is that we're focused on being in smaller stores because we're a small business. And given everything that's going on, we definitely want to be 100% Canadian focused as far as supporting our local vendors.
Yeah.
And because of that, so we are in like Vicki mentioned earlier, we're at the log farm. They have our sauce there. Small Ottawa family business. My barber also has my hot sauce. Small Canadian family business. Like, you know what I mean? Like spreading out to other businesses. And the reason too is like what I have found is by doing that, it introduces you to a whole bunch of different markets. Like, so my barber's like, oh, I talked to this guy and they'd be interested. Much like talking to you, Adam. I was like,
Right.
oh, you've got four other people. Well, my barber's like, oh, I got a rabbi that's interested in it, and he's like, also I've got this butcher that's interested in it, and it's like, oh, like I like
That's the perfect place
I,
for your hot sauce, the butcher shop.
yeah, and I like I like the small business. I prior to what I do now, I worked in finance for 20 years.
Right.
And my favorite part of my job was my clients, both personal and business clients. I just, you know what I mean? And doing it this way, you get to have that personal connection.
Yeah.
And that's why I like going to the markets. I like shaking hands with people and, hey, give it a shot. And we don't take ourselves too seriously either, hence the tagline. Well, you probably saw on the website, it only burns on the way in, usually.
I didn't see that. That's
Uh,
perfect.
yeah, we don't take ourselves too seriously, so we'll keep doing it as long as it's fun and that's just it. Like we have a lot of fun talking to people, like even in the market. Like Vicky and I do have our separate quote unquote separate roles, but when we're at the market, we're together.
Yeah. No, I like
Yeah,
that.
because you're more like the cook, the recipes,
I do the buying.
the buying and the figuring out, like, researching, oh, what would be the best equipment for this part, or what would go well together, things like that. And then I'm more like on the operational side of things, in the background kind of. But then at markets, we're both on, full on at the table, enticing people to come and taste the sauce. And we like to keep it not small
Intimate.
necessarily. Yeah, intimate, I guess. And we don't want to sacrifice the quality, and we want to give good service and good quality product, because I find that sometimes if it gets too big too quickly or too like mass produced, then you kind of lose that connection, or and also the product quality. Because if we would go mass produce, we wouldn't be able to just do it just the two of us.
Yeah.
We would have to have a I don't know how they call it, but like a
The children.
packer.
We'll hire the children.
Not the children.
You're not allowed to do that anymore. Not in 2025. That's terrible.
Uh-oh.
But I
Damn it.
yeah, I mean the Packers are like having a second like kind of business taking over. Like we don't necessarily want that either. We still want a hand in it and keeping it personal and good quality product.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I remember you saying to me, or when you guys thought I was in the States, you said that you don't ship to the States yet. So, to our American listeners, what?
Sorry.
Still sorry.
So Canadian
Okay,
to say sorry.
Not yet. Insurance prevents us from doing so
Oh,
now.
really? Okay.
for now. But I mean,
Yeah.
half of my family's American, so and I know that. Well, I mean, their family, so I can just
We'll
ship
just
it
do
to
local
them as a
pickup
gift.
at their house then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hope everybody can meet me in Michigan.
There we go. Perfect. But that's. I know that you guys will be working on that at some point as well, because a lot of my audience is, well, I mean, audience from around the world, and when they want something, there's a way to get it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you this too: if you're listening to this and you really want to try this hot sauce, you can email us, hit us up, info at the Mental Mastery Lines. What we'll do is we'll take a shipment here. Therefore, they've shipped it to Canada, and I'll ship it over to you. Just friends and family deal, no problem. I'll charge you an extra $100 though, just because
There you go.
I gotta make some money off this. Somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. buddy.
We can work out a deal. We can work
I'm
out
kidding, Americans, but if you want it, we can figure it out.
All right, I'll ship it to my brother in Windsor, and then you guys can just drive over and grab.
That's it. Just cartons of hot sauce and wind.
Exactly. Anything to declare? Lots
Nothing.
of hot sauce.
Yeah, don't travel to this country. What was that movie? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. You got anything to
Oh
declare?
my God.
Don't go to England.
Yeah, that's an oldie.
Absolute classic.
Yes.
I mean, we've talked. I don't know, your hot sauce. I wish it was at this point that we could just hand a sample out to absolutely everybody right now. But to the Canadians listening, you can absolutely get your hands on some of this.
Mhm.
And again, the website will be in the description. But for anyone that doesn't want to click on the description, what is your website?
It is www.kingshotsauce.com.
Perfect. And like I said, that'll be in the description.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for this, ladies and gentlemen, but that's more than likely going to be one of our features as well. This hot sauce, you will be able to find it on our website as well. We want to do a redirect. We want to make sure that these guys are out there, they're seen, they're known. I can't say enough for a local Canadian, for a good family, for an amazing product. I think you guys are going to have a little bit of fun. I think I'd like to have a little bit of fun with you in the coming years, or at least the coming months. So,
it's Adam, sorry, but you got me thinking now, because every so often so my daughter and I started this video segment called Great or Gross, and it's on Facebook and Instagram. And so what it was her and I would taste the classic hot sauce on things people suggested.
right.
And it's all on all the videos on there. And people kept tuning in because she was the funniest. My daughter was the funniest part of the whole video. And it's true, she was. But we ate it on the things you would think: pizza, pasta, burgers, and then strawberry ice cream and crickets and Jello, because they suggested it. So I put out, like, I'm not trying this stuff on prairie oysters, because no. So
Was it a bull testicle?
yeah, I had no interest in eating buffalo testicles.
Yeah, yeah. I
was like,
did you eat it? Did you eat the nuts?
What? No.
I've heard it's good stuff. I've heard it's good stuff. I would do it. I'd go on your channel and I'd eat it on a bull testicle. I've never eaten a bull testicle, but I'd be like, if me from the Mental Mastery Alliance is over there on your channel eating bull testicles, I think people will tune into that.
But I was thinking we could have you on there too, do one, because we do one with a gentleman who's also he enters the hot pepper eating contest too, and he's done a couple of videos with us, and I've done a video too with my a friend of ours who's also a local magician, because my daughter, she's 13 now, right? She doesn't want to hang out with dad, make silly videos. She's too cool for me. So
But we did do like a full year, once a week video with her, which was really fun to do. And it brought her out of her shell. And now she's like, yeah, I'm good. We're good. Like,
but you put that creative bug in her, and she could become a creator. There's so much opportunity out there, especially with the way the internet is now. Your hot sauce would probably be amazing on watermelon, by the way.
We
did try it.
Did we on the video though?
Yes, we did.
See, I can't even remember. I blocked some of them out because they were
watermelon. You liked it. I remember that. Pretty much any fruit was actually good. Surprisingly good.
The pineapple was really good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. People have always said you can't put pineapple on pizza. I said you absolutely can, but if you add Frank's Red Hot to a pineapple on pizza, and that's what I'm saying. Frank's Red Hot to me isn't the hot sauce, but it's Frank's. It's got its place. Yeah. You know, everything's everywhere. Like Frank's is Frank's, and it's got its place. And its place, for the most part, is on pineapple pizza. It's delicious. It's so funny when people are like, "Oh, you're a hot sauce connoisseur and you like Frank's." 100%. Frank's is Frank's. It's an absolute staple classic. It's like a cheese pizza. You know, like you know what you're getting. You know, and that's
they didn't get as big as they are because they're terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Frank's isn't a real hot sauce. Calm down. Yeah. Calm down. But yeah, so Frank's can't even hold a candle to yours. But
thank you.
This is like, I don't know. Like I've never been so excited for a new product. I can't even tell you since how long. So it's, I mean, the stuff that's actually running through my head right now, like marketing and how we can get you out there and who we can collab with and all that sort of stuff. Like I'm really excited to certainly add you under the wing of what we're doing over here. That's something that we'll talk about off camera. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get your hands on this, we're going to head you over to kingshotsauce.com. The Instagram, what's your Instagram? Instagram.com/
King's Hot Sauce.
If you notice it's starting to get better, then we've struck a deal and we're working together. If you don't notice it getting better, then I've offered some suggestions and they may or may not take them. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you guys, much like me, we just want to have fun. If you wake up in the morning and you're having fun, you're winning.
Well, and that's just it, right? Like, it's like like I said, we don't take ourselves too seriously. Which is why we wear matching pepper pants when we go to markets. And
perfect, yeah.
Absolutely. You just play with it, and
we actually get to spend more time together, which is kind of weird in the sense that, like, you would think, oh, like a couple, they live together, they have kids together, like of course they're spending all their time together, but no. And I think most parents know that you guys are like left and right all the time, like dropping off the kids here, going for errands, doing this, that, all the activities. So this business actually brought us more time together, because when we're at markets, we're just talking to people, but then when there's nobody walking in front of our booth, well, we're sitting together, we're hanging out, we're talking to different vendors as well, and collaborating with a bunch of new people all the time. And you know, yeah, and then when we go cook in the kitchen, it's 12 hours nonstop of just like cooking and, sanitizing bottles and putting sauce in bottles. And, sometimes people are like, oh, you must get sick of each other, actually. And business with your spouse, sometimes it's like, no, it actually works for us. So, which is really fun.
And I get to control the playlist when we cook. So that's
there
important.
you go. Exactly. So, judging by your age, sometimes it's Creed. That's what I was just talking about over there. Creed's come back in full swing.
Right. I won't lie. I do have a Creed record.
So do I. My LP collection's gone through the roof. I love Creed and Alter Bridge, like they're the replacement band when they got rid of Scott Stapp. Alter Bridge is one of those bands that's just absolutely next level. Rock and roll's key. We were talking about the family unit and on one of the shows not too long ago, and how basically it's the biggest trap. Like the nuclear family in Canada. Mom wakes up, goes to her job. Dad wakes up, goes to her job. Son wakes up, goes to one school. Daughter wakes up, goes to another school. The nuclear family has been completely destroyed. And that information doesn't get handed down. Now everyone's busy being indoctrinated and then following through with the indoctrination at their job. So it's not surprising to me that you guys really love being together, because the more you're with your person, the more you're with the right person, you find yourself, I love you more. The more I'm with you, the more I understand this, as opposed to a world, and especially hookup culture, that a lot of people don't understand that. Oh no, I love being with my partner, because we're actually taught that why stick with this when you've got options, when you can swipe left and right and all this sort of stuff. For me, I'm like, I just throw the fucking phone in the garbage half the time. Like if I didn't need it, that's the thing. But this is the world that we live in. It's hard to hate on it when, you've got a podcast, you've got this, you've got that. But, that you guys love each other, that you guys spend this much more time together. And it's funny that you had to preface that by saying some find it weird. Well, society is weird and you guys are doing it right. And if hot sauce can bring a family together, I, for one, want to live in that world. I'll tell you that right now.
It works.
Was there anything you guys wanted to add to this that I may have forgotten to ask or anything like that? It was I don't know if there's a.
I think more to express our gratitude for being here with you, because, honestly, I know I wish my dad could see it.
Yeah.
And to see that we're even doing this, because honestly, he was just this crazy man, just chasing me around the house going, try my hot sauce on this. I was like, leave me alone, old man, Jesus. But I wish he could see it, and that this is what we're doing with it, because there isn't a day that goes by that I don't, wish that he was a part of this in that way. But at least his face is there. We
also have a little side story on the label about your dad. Every bottle, every flavor has a different, not every bottle, sorry, every flavor has a different story about your dad.
Yeah.
Also to honor his legacy. And I know every time we're in the kitchen, you're like, oh man, my dad would so be here to help us for this 12-hour day. Like, he would come down from Windsor, or come up from Windsor, I guess. And yeah, he would totally be here every time we're cooking. And even at markets, I know, like, I've never met his dad, unfortunately. We started dating before, after he passed away. But I've heard so many great stories about him. And yeah, it's like I almost know him, even though I've never met him. And so we hope that reading the labels of the bottle, you'll get to have a little tidbit of him as well.
It's not so much that too. I mean, the bottles of stories are great. You're adding his personality to it, but this is his flavor, right? You're keeping him alive with this for sure. I know the feeling big time. I lost my father in 2007, way too young. So it's nice. And that we're talking about him right now It's a saving of the essence. It's a saving of the energy. Your old man's in all of it. If it weren't for your old man chasing you around the house, this wouldn't exist right now. This podcast wouldn't be happening. So he's in it. He's in all of this. You don't have to worry about that. The old man's sitting there going, "Ha ha! I got that fucker. I knew he'd like this hot dog."
Exactly.
Yeah, no, man, that's fun, man. I love that stuff. I love family. I love stories. I love unity. I love in a world that's so overbearing and so driven towards division and fighting and hate. Oh, goddamn hot sauce is bringing us all together, and that kind of unity you can't buy, and that shit's amazing to me.
And it's funny because you mentioned earlier, kind of like where do we see it going, and to kind of capitalize on the conversation about family. One goal, now this is down the road, years down the road, but one thing I want to do if we get big enough and busy enough is I want to make a hot sauce specifically that all the or a portion of the proceeds of the sales will go to the Muscular Dystrophy Association, because my cousin had muscular dystrophy, and so in our whole family, that was a big deal, right? Like he was in a wheelchair and all this kind of stuff. So it was something that it impacted the whole family because we looked out for him and for everybody and all that. And so growing up with him and he's being my dad's nephew, I was like, it's the right thing to do. Like, as a responsible business owner, you have to give back. So I was like, that's a goal down the road, because I talked to my cousin. He's since passed away too, unfortunately. So his sister, my cousin, I'm clearing everything with her just to make sure it's above board and she thinks it's good. But her and I have the same sense of humor, so it's not likely I'm going to get a thumbs down.
Yeah,
but
right.
Still,
how dare you?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Raising awareness through hot sauce, it's paramount.
Yeah.
We're living in a world right now where people are walking away from booze. Nobody really wants to drink anymore. We got to come together around something else. What's that?
So I do.
Yeah. But the world is like, it's like it used to be. Let's go for drinks. Let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah. And now there's so many people who are trying to be connoisseurs, or who are trying to be healthier, or trying to do this or trying to do that. Mm-hmm. They're like, what's going to bond us? Well, let's try the sauce on the wings. Let's try this. Let's have a meat. Let's have a prep. Let's try cuisine from all over the world. I work with a non-alcoholic company, so they're pairing their non-alcoholic wines and beers and coolers with all kinds of stuff. So there's even a connection there that can be done here. So I love that this is coming up. This is existing. That this is a local Canadian from straight out of Ottawa, a company that's got a product that's hands down speaks for itself, and has the ability and potential to raise awareness, to raise funds, to raise spirits. It's already raising spirits. We've made some people laugh today. So, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for your future. I'm really excited to have met you. I'm really excited to get more of your hot sauce. So, it's a good spot to be in for everybody today, ladies and gentlemen. And today, I think is today. Not the recording day, because the recording day is what's today's? It's today the 17th. So this is going on. This is next week. So this is going up on the 23rd. So this will actually go live when I'm in your city. So when this is actually airing, I might be sampling your hot sauce on your channel. Amazing. So that's kind of fun.
Come on over.
You're coming up you said Friday. Are you here for the week?
I'm leaving on Tuesday afternoon.
All right. Okay.
Friday till Tuesday.
All right.
A long weekend.
So this will go live when I'm up there.
Sweet.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, I like to leave off by saying something very simple and very Canadian. So all of the shows, all of the stuff that we've talked about will be in the show liner notes for this. And I'll leave all of you with this one statement. In the infamous words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Stay connected with us directly through the mentalmasteryalliance.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram at instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag TMMA or tagging us at the Mental Mastery Alliance. To have your voice heard on the show, leave a voicemail or send a text to 647-338-1265. Long-distance charges may apply. If you love us, leave us a review. If you hate us, you spend your time in weird ways, but also leave a review. Every review on iTunes tickles the algorithm, helping us grow. Until next time, unity over division. This concludes the most surreal portion of your day.
You got it, Pontiac.